Hello, my friend, and welcome to the Sales Podcast. I'm Wes Schaefer, the Sales Whisperer, your host, and I'm back. Man, it's been tough. Can I just be honest with you? Things are not always what they appear. You know, you say you have some plans, then you tell God, and then God laughs. I've been sick for a month. If you hear me kicking around a cough drop, please excuse me. I know I should not do it, but the show must go on. If I talk, I cough. So, been fighting that. My wife had surgery. I've got one kid right now with a fever, probably strep throat. 2 others were sick. Goodness gracious. But hey, the show must go on, right? And I've been talking about my goal to be reviewing these books. I've been wanting to get after the Ask method, and I've gotten through it. But man, there's a lot of nuances, a lot of subtleties. The more I investigated it, I realized, you know what? I don't want to be doing all that. So just today, actually, I made a decision on bringing on, it's a freelancer, so a consultant for now, but a guy that's got some good credentials. He is Ask Method certified, but I wasn't hiring him for that. It came up, though. I'm looking for somebody to run my paid advertising. I've never had to do paid advertising to grow my business, and it's time. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm talking about some of the things in the news lately with social media marketing. I was at Traffic and Conversion Summit last week in San Diego. I was at the beginning of social media marketing world. I didn't have a ticket, but I've hung out with a lot of people that I've known there for years. Some interesting things going on in that space. But anyway, I was interviewing for a paid traffic management guy, and this guy lives in Arizona. He lives in Mesa. He used to work for Infusionsoft, so he knows Infusionsoft. He knows ClickFunnels. He knows he's got a VA, a proven VA, which I need for some technical stuff, CSS, HTML work, and he knows the Ask method. So I'm like, you know what? God is speaking to me. Sold. And that's what I've realized. You know, God is always talking to you, but are you listening? God always answers prayers. Sometimes it's with a no. And I've been just trying to learn too many things, get inside the guts, under the hood of too many things. And I realize, you know, I'm not an agency. I'm not a service provider. I'm a sales trainer. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach. Well, business coach, right? A consultant. I like helping people. I don't like doing the work for somebody. So I have partnered with a couple of other very good service providers, people that can fulfill. So if you need the work, let me know. They are vetted. I'll bring them in and help you get the help you need. Okay, so by all means, reach out, but just understand I won't be doing the work. And as crazy as it sounds, you know, that was a big clarification, a big point of, you know, that aha moment, really, over this last week. And so I'm making the changes to the website. And that's something else. And I think I mentioned it before, but for months, literally for months, I've been heads down under the hood. And that's why I like this guy with his assistant. You know, I've trusted too many people to tinker with my stuff. And too many things were broken or either just not as good as they could be. So you can hand over, you know, authority, but you can't hand over responsibility. I learned that in the military, right? You can tell somebody, hey, you have the authority to act on my behalf, but if things go wrong, it's my responsibility. So that's my website, it's my processes, so it's my responsibility to get things fixed. And so I've been heads down, working on those things. Like I said, now I realize, you know, my true calling, you know, is to get out there and speak and to inspire people. I'm very good at taking complex ideas and making them understandable for people, especially in the world of sales and marketing automation, technology, systems, things like that. So that's the focus, right? Get out of any type of service work, because I would do some of it, but I'd usually outsource it to some people I've had with me for years as contractors, but I just don't enjoy it. So you've got to figure out what you're good at, okay, and then double down on that. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of me on paid advertising, get this podcast done more often. I actually cut back for a while. It wasn't growing the way I should, but I noticed even if I did a few less than normal, things are still progressing decently. So I'm like, hey, okay, cool. But you're going to hear me on more interviews. I'm hiring somebody to get me on more shows. We're also going to be offering that as a service once we perfect it. So I'm going to be the guinea pig, iron it out, and then build up a database of good shows, good people. We'll be offering that as a service. But, I eat my own dog food, right? If I recommend something, it's because I've tested it, I've used it, I've proven it, and it's current. So that's why I'm following that path. Because you've got to be seen. You've got to be heard to get the word out, to drive people to your website. And, I've been doing more on Instagram, which is, brings me to one of the points. One of the things that I've discovered in the last couple of weeks, especially after going to the conferences, meeting with some heavy hitters in technology, in online marketing, on e-commerce, on brand building. And, Facebook is noisy. Facebook has admitted they are reducing inventory. They actually had their first reduction in followers or members, I think ever. I think it was like 1.4 million last month. But, they bought Instagram a few years ago for a lot of money, and they were smart to do it. Instagram, I think, is the place to be in the next couple of years. I recommend you establish a toehold there, start learning that. That's one of the places I'm more active there myself, but we'll also be running paid advertising there. But on one of my posts, Instagram and LinkedIn, right? So I'm creating content, I'm sharing it on Instagram, I'm sharing it on LinkedIn, and something just the other day I shared, a guy named Jared Coleman chimed in. So hello, Jared. Yeah, I said, 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls after the meeting. And I said, pros have a process to close in 1. So Jared liked that. He said, podcast topic, I'm hoping. So here we go. I want to dive into that for you real quick, and then I'll finish up on a couple of things that I'm working on. But when you go into a call, when you go into a meeting without an agenda, then you're winging it. Okay? And of the 7 deadly sins of selling, number 1 is shooting from the hip. And I've had forever a tool you can get for free at thesalesagenda.com. Go check that out. So when you have an agenda, when you follow the agenda, when you set it ahead of time with your prospect, a couple of things happen. Number 1 is about 50% of the world is very analytical, very methodical. They are goal and task oriented versus people and relationship oriented. So when you have an agenda ahead of time, it puts them at ease. Okay? Prospects are anxious when they meet with you. And so you might be anxious as a salesperson. When there's a bunch of anxiety, it's just not very conducive to doing business. When you have an agenda ahead of time, it puts 50% of your prospects at ease. The other half, they don't care. They probably won't even read it. Okay, if you go over it verbally, they're like, yeah, sounds great. See you next week. But half of the people that you're encountering will appreciate it. They will show up calm when you have an agenda. You will show up calm. And you've always heard Zig Ziglar talk about, selling is a transference of a feeling, and that feeling is confidence. So when you show up with an agenda, everybody's calm. All right? The main thing is you are calm. But with that agenda as well, you are setting the tone, you're setting the pace, and you're letting them know that you're showing up not to do a dog and pony show. You're showing up to ask questions. So now they have to answer the questions. But when you get the agenda, you'll see the final point is that they agree and you agree that you will mutually agree upon what the next steps are after that meeting, even if there are no next steps. So because you have a process, because you have an agenda, and because you stick to that agenda, You're going to eliminate the I want to think it overs. You're going to eliminate the constant follow-ups, the begging. Okay? Buyers have a buying plan. I went to that buying/negotiation training years ago. It was down in San Antonio. I want to say it was around 2001. The Chester Karras negotiation. And I've still got his books, got his CDs. It's powerful. Okay? Your buyers are planning really on how to ambush you, how to twist things around, how to get you to sharpen your pencil. What are you doing to make sure you don't have to sharpen your pencil? What are you doing to make sure that your prospects, they don't pencil you in, they write it in with ink? You've got to think things through ahead of time. You know, the nice thing is you know exactly what the objections are. Okay, in any business, there's only a handful of objections you can ever get. And so you can prepare for them. Just like in sports, you know, if you're playing your team's playing your arch rival, the big nemesis, and you know every time on 3rd and long they put number 88 to the wide side of the field and they run a 5-yard post to him. Well, if you've scouted them out and you know, then when it's 3rd and long and they send number 88 to the wide side of the field, you can shift, right? You can shift your coverage on the cornerback. You can shift your free safety over. You can shift a strong safety back. You can shift a linebacker over. Right? You can double and triple team this guy and get an interception. So you look forward to it because you know it's coming. It's the same thing in sales. You know what's coming. And professionals don't overcome objections. Professionals anticipate them, prepare for them, and address them before they even come up. That's why I recommend you write. Write more. Write your frequently asked questions. Write your should ask questions. Write blog posts. Answer the questions that people will ask. When you have content pre-made, a couple things will happen. One, people will find you on their own when they're doing searches. And because you're now the trusted expert, they call you with a couple clarifying questions and they order. On the flip side, if somebody reaches out to you and they have a bunch of questions, you can say, you know what, let me send you an email with links to everything you're talking about. Then we can schedule a time to get back together. Now you let them go read your 2 or 3 or 32 different articles. You let them listen to your audio like this on a podcast. Make videos. Put them up on YouTube. Put them on Vimeo. Embed them on your website. So look, go check that out. Now they're seeing you in a multimedia, multi-touch setting. Email, phone call, they're reading, they're listening, they're watching. Then you can follow up with them, or you can set a time to have your next meeting after they go watch all of those, read all of that. So they may spend 30 minutes, an hour. They may spend 37 hours reading and researching and watching. So that's time you can speak with somebody that's more... that's closer to buying, right? They're farther along in their process, ready to buy. So you've got to think through these things. And if you find yourself always answering the same questions, one of a couple things is happening. One is, you need to make content for that, to get found for that, to answer that ahead of time. But you may also be telegraphing that objection. You may be inviting your prospects to give you that objection. So what do I mean by that? So just like using the sports analogy, if a quarterback looks left, pump fakes left, then finally throws left, he's going to get intercepted because everybody can shift and get over that way to stop the pass. As a salesperson, and I see this all the time, you don't realize the weak words that you're using, the weak posture that you're putting out there. And a great example, if you were to call me and you said, hey, Wes, I'm interested in joining your inner circle. How much is it? If I say, well, my inner circle is normally $2,000. What did I just do? Right? I invited you. I welcomed you. I teed it up. I'm taunting you to now ask me, well, if it's normally $2,000, how much can I get it for? So imagine, I'm selling computers and, you come into me and And so same conversation. Well, they're normally $2,000. Go, well, how much can I get it for? Like, well, let me go ask the manager. And then, the customer buys or they don't buy, but they don't buy at full price. Then when they leave, whether they bought or not. And I go back to the manager. See, our stuff is too expensive. We need to lower our prices. Everybody wants a better price. The reality is your weak words, your weak posturing is what is inviting those objections. How do you get over that? Record yourself and review your verbiage with preferably somebody more experienced, but at least if you have a peer, somebody that can listen in with you and give you a neutral opinion, right, and feedback, you're going to catch what's going on and you'll get better. Every time I want to get better at something, I record it myself. It happened when I was an instructor in the Air Force at Keesler Air Force Base back in 1995. Going through instructor training, they recorded us. When I wanted to become a better speaker and communicator, I went through a communication class. They'd record us back when we started to use VHS tapes in the early 2000s. We'd give a presentation. They'd record it. They'd send us off to a room. We'd have to watch ourselves. Terrible. When I hired my first sales coach, 2006, he had me record my calls. It was brutal. When I wanted to get better at golf, this was, it was Jacksonville, Florida. It was late. It was like August 1993. My dad bought me golf lessons for my 23rd birthday. I don't know if he loves me or hates me. I don't know. That game's a sickness. But anyway, I record it myself. A Golf Pro recorded you. So record yourself if you want to get better. Okay, we did it in sports, right? Playing football, high school, the Air Force Academy. We got game film. Heck, we would film training sometime, our practices, and go back and review that. So record yourself. You're probably inviting these objections, and that's tough to overcome. Okay, you're literally self-sabotaging yourself. So you've got to understand, what are the words you're using? What is the tonality? What is the pace? What is your physicality? Are you nervous? Are you fidgeting? Are you slow? Do you accelerate things when it comes time to talk about money? Do you break eye contact? Do you stare them down? Any of those things can be weird, and they're offsetting and off-putting, and you got to stop it. Okay? But, again, getting back to Jared, this 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls, and most salespeople won't make those 5 follow-up calls. You don't have systems in place. You don't have CRMs in place. You don't have an automation sequence running to remind you. If you are making the calls, you're saying the exact same thing. Hey, Jared, it's Wes. Yeah, over at the Sales Whisperer. Yeah, I'm just, hey, I haven't heard from you since we met. I thought the meeting went okay, and I sent you a quote. And, hey, it's already March, so it's, we're probably going to be running some specials here. It's, into the first quarter. We want to end the quarter strong. So, it's a good time. Maybe it's good that you waited. So please, give me a call, please. Please. Okay, I'm going to hang up now. Yeah, okay, thank you. I'll send you an email too. How much does that guy want to buy from you? All right? So you've got to have a process in place. Instead, it's like, Jared, Wes, Sales Whisperer, hey, it was good seeing you the other day. I'm glad we can make some time based on, our agenda, everything we talked about. At the end of the meeting, you said you had to present that to the board of directors. You said y'all meet, on the first Thursday of the month. You asked me to give you a call. It's, it's 4:00 here on Friday. So I'm calling you like I said that I would. So let me know what the verdict is from the board of directors. Yes or no is fine. Just let me know based on our conversation. So I look forward to hearing from you really soon. Okay. So when you have a mutually agreed upon agenda, you don't have to keep following up. You have a meeting. It's not a follow-up call. It's a scheduled appointment to get an answer. And then, I talked about Oren Klaff. Pitch Anything. I had him on the podcast. I did his book review not too long ago, talking about frames. The alpha frame always consumes the beta frame, and one of the biggest alpha frames is the moral authority. So if Jared and I had a set call for 4 p.m. on Friday and he doesn't answer, I have the moral frame. I have the higher ground, because even though I'm just a lowly puke salesperson, commission driven, just trying to get the money, I'm a human being. And he told me verbally before we met, he confirmed it when we met, that we would follow the agenda. At the end of the agenda, at the end of our meeting, based on the agenda, we would agree on what the next steps were. Even if there were no next steps, at the end of the meeting, he confirmed that he'd have to meet with the board of directors. They meet on Thursday. He would give me an answer by Friday. I then set the time for 4 p.m. So I have the moral high ground at that point. He has to get back to me, because at the end of the day, I just want an answer, yes or no. Sure, I want the sale. I want the commission. I want the client. But the uncertainty, the being strung along, is a killer. It crushes your psyche. It crushes your will to continue the sales fight. And in a battle, the goal is not to destroy your enemy. It's to take away his will to fight. That's what people don't understand that weren't in the military. We don't want to kill everybody. We just want them to stop trying to kill us. Okay? We want them to agree to our terms so we can all go back home. So if you don't have the will to fight, if you don't have the will to make one more call, send one more email, go to one more event, give one more presentation, set one more meeting, if you don't have that will, then you're going to lose. And that's why ultimately in all of my training, the goal is just to simply have you maintain the motivation, have the courage, have the confidence to continue to push through. Because what happens is the work you do today, you're planting seeds. Okay? It may take a week or a month or 3 months or a year for that to bear fruit. And so you got to keep moving forward. You got to keep putting in the effort. I tell sales managers, manage activity and pay on results. They don't know the activity to keep track of their people. So they just say, hey, your quota's $1 million, go get them. Tell me what to do to get that $1 million. Let's say it's $1.2 million. That's $100,000 a month. Well, that's $50,000 a week. Okay? That's $10,000 a day. If my average sale is $5,000, I've got to make 2 sales a day. Okay? If I have a 50% closing ratio of proposals to sales, then I have to make 4 proposals a day to make 2 sales. If I have a 50% closing ratio of proposals, from meetings to proposals, then I've got to have 8 meetings to do 4 proposals to get 2 sales. Okay, you can just work the numbers backwards. And I've actually got a spreadsheet on that. I need to get it put up where y'all can see it. So I'll make a note. Y'all hit me up online and remind me. I'm leaving the country actually right after this goes live. I'm going to see my son for 10 days. He's studying in India. And then I'm speaking at SuccessCon in San Diego, 28th, 29th, 30th. But I can get that done in the next couple of weeks, early April at the latest. But with my new team, I may be able to get it up earlier. We shall see. But it's just simple math, simple percentages. Do you know your numbers? You got to work backwards like that. But when you know those numbers, you'll know your activity. And that's the main thing. Stay the course. Every day, grow a little bit. I'm recording this on a Friday. Every day this week, 5 days this week, I've been to jiu-jitsu. I went 5 days last week. Every day I learn a little bit. I fail, right? I lose. Somebody taps me out. Boom. We get up. We reset. We get after it again. So, but every day you got to keep going. And this one guy, I saw him yesterday. I haven't seen him in a little while. And he admitted he just hasn't been. He let work take over. He got lazy. And when he told me that, the gloves were off. I didn't go easy on him. Because I'm like, dude, you got to keep showing up. I wore his butt out for 6 minutes. There's the cough. Hey, I've done pretty good keeping that at bay. But I was like, dude, keep coming. Keep coming. Your cardio stays up. Because that's a big thing. Just staying in shape. If you can wear the other guy down, you can win. You'll get an opportunity. But if you're tired, you can't seize the opportunity when it's presented. So, I digress a bit. But like I said, the main goal is to keep you strong, to keep you confident, to keep putting one foot forward. Improve your website, make a better blog post, do more posting on social media. Start doing paid advertising, do direct mail, start a podcast, do more video, do Facebook Lives, do Instagram Live, do Snapchat Live. Keep expanding. Okay, but speaking of social media, there's been a couple of reports, and I shared that this week. BuzzSumo just came out with something, and they've seen through, I think it was like 100 million posts, something like that social media is 50% less effective than it was just 3 years ago. But if you've listened to this podcast for years, 4.5 years ago, I had Jay Baer on. I think it was episode 15, Convince and Convert. And he said back then, if you're not good at email marketing, you have no business doing social media marketing. Social media marketing is a place to deepen a relationship, to further a relationship. It's not the place to make the sale. It's not the place to initiate it. Okay? If you're running ads, doing sponsored posts, boosted posts, things like that, that's not social media. That's paid traffic. You just happen to be promoting, advertising on a social media platform. So, but that's 4.5 years ago we were talking about that. Early, mid 2013. And so we've been talking about this. Social media is a place that I think a lot of people have gone to act cute, act important. They're really not. I just saw a thing today. There was this girl in like New York. She's $10,000 in debt because she tried to create this viral Instagram persona. She booked trips to Europe. She bought all kind of clothing and bags and all on credit card, all this debt to try to create this image. And she admitted it's all a lie. It's fake. And now she's in debt. Don't fall for these narcissistic people. They don't have it better than you. They may look like it, but it probably took them 10 or 15 or 25 different pictures, 2 or 3 photographers, lighting, all kind of stuff to have that, quote, perfect image. That's the thing. You see my pictures, 99.99% of them are one take. Every now and then it'll be kind of ugly. I might redo it. But 99.99, take the picture, here it is, put a funny quote or inspirational quote, whatever, and share it. Okay? Stop judging yourself, comparing yourself to these people that you don't know. Most of them are full of crap. And and again, speaking of this, being at Traffic and Conversion and social media marketing world last week, multiple people, prominent people in the online space, coaches, authors, speakers, people with successful businesses, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million a year, admitted that they're sick of Facebook, they're sick of social media. One said, she wished she's even thinking about just getting off of Facebook altogether. Another said the same thing, that they're tired of the politics, the posers, the overproduced, just fake world. So you're not alone thinking that. But remember, your prospects might be experiencing the same thing. That's why we're seeing users, right, log off, close their accounts on Facebook. They're going more to Instagram. People, the younger kids aren't liking the Snapchat change, but they're still on Snapchat. And again, if you're targeting younger people, it may be a good place. But LinkedIn is growing in importance. Another thing too is private groups. And I'm kicking myself. I started the Implementers a while ago, but again, I was spread too thin. So as I bring my team up, I've got a new admin. She used to work for me for a couple of years. I'm bringing her back just to do some administrative work. I'm bringing on another to get me on the podcast. I've had a couple of VAs, so I've kept them. I'm giving them more with the production of the podcast and doing SEO. Now I'm bringing on another guy for doing paid traffic, funnels, Infusionsoft work, and website design and technical stuff. So as I bring these people on, it's helping me do more. But, check out the Implementors. So it's like implement and mentor, but all one word, theimplementors.com. So it's my free Facebook group. So I'm firing that up. I'm more involved. Tune in there. Check in. Let's continue the conversation. Work from home. I got my iPhone. Chances are very high. You hit me up there, ask a question. You'll probably hear from me almost immediately. I don't have, it's still too small right now. So you're going to get a lot more access to me. But, it's too small for me to have an admin like typing for me. I don't really like that anyway. If I ever do get an assistant, you'll know I often put their initials or name that you're hearing from them, not me. But that's another thing, though. Can you get your community involved with you in a group? Because the nice thing with a group, there's no ads in there. So you can deepen that relationship like we were talking about with Jay. You can deepen the relationship, let them get to know you. You can get to know them. And then if there's a fit, if you do something that they need, then you can help them. And the sale just becomes the natural conclusion. That's how business is going to be done. It has been done, and how it's going to be done moving forward. So join me there as I dig into this, peel it back even more, test out more things. I'll be sharing that. I'll be sharing on the podcast, but this is, once a week. And as I have guests, I may not go on a rant like this for a couple of weeks. But in the group, it'll be more real time. All right, so join me there, theimplementers.com. I've also finally built out, I redesigned the structure of the Make Every Sale program, and I renamed the Make Every Sale as the Inner Circle. So the Make Every Sale, if you go to thesaleswhisperer.com, you see the products tab now up in the top. You'll see, my books. You'll see the implementers. You can join us for free. You'll see Make Every Sale. You'll see the Inner Circle. All right. So the Make Every Sale program is my 41 video, 60 plus page workbook. A lot of templates and other goodies that I give in that, boilerplate like contracts and things. But you can enroll in that. It's a one-time payment, or you can make monthly payments on that, but you'll have lifetime access to that content, right? You can download the videos, whatever, and you'll have them. But there's no access to me. But if you just want Wes on demand, it's the Make Every Sale program. If you want to engage with me every week live on a recorded video, ask questions, and I go over different things that I'm working on, that's the Inner Circle. Okay, and so you can enroll for a year and get 2 months free, or you can pay month to month. And both of these have money-back guarantees, but check those out. That's where my focus is. Like I said at the beginning, it hit me. I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm a sales trainer, I'm an educator. Right? So the more I can do in a group setting, it gives me time to catch up, to read more, and to bring you, the unfiltered truth as I filter through the junk, right? So I've got books and books and books stacked up, lined up, programs I have access to, 300 guests, on the sales podcast. I'm going back and reviewing their things, bringing guests back on, like I just had Marshawn back on. That's what I want to do. That's where I can give the most value. So stay plugged in with me, okay? The Implementors, that's our free group. If you want to, online access, it's the Make Every Sale program. If you want to interact with me, it's theimplementors.com. So thanks for listening. I'm going to tag Jared in this. And so it's another thing. If you are engaging with me, asking questions, hey, I'm happy to give you a shout out, but check out TLC Tech Inc. That's Jared Coleman. He's business development manager there. So thanks for speaking up. So come hang out with me. Come grow your business. And now go sell something.